Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss about 11th Computer Science Unit 3 Chapter 9 Introduction to C++ Concept Part 3. Today learning objectives are: what is data types? What are the data types we have in a C++? What is meant by variables? What is meant by expressions? How to declare the variables? How to identify the variable names, and how to give the values for the variables, and then we have to see the sample programs. Okay, so these topics today we are going to listen in this video. First one, data types means what? Okay, so before any language, every programming language, we have some fundamental elements. What are that? So that is called as data types, variables, and expressions. Okay, so we have three fundamental elements in every programming language, not only for C++, in C programming, Java, C#. Okay, in any language we have a fundamental elements. Okay, so these elements only we have to use in the other languages also. Okay, what are that? Data types, variables, and expressions. These elements too we have to write programs, and we have to execute a program. So these elements are we have some predefined set of data types. Okay, so we have some predefined data items. What are that? Okay, we have to know that built-in data types, and we have to find that built-in data types too we have to write our programs. That is called as a user defined data types. Okay, that built-in data types called as a user defined data types. We have to see that built-in data types. Okay, so in data types itself they are finding a field name and value of the variable. Okay, field means what it is. Look here one example they given. Okay, fields means name, age, average, mark. Okay, these are all the fields. Okay, three fields are there. Okay, values. Okay, so that values are data. Okay, so we have to call this is called as a data or values. RAM 15 85.6, this is called as a data. Okay, or values of the variable name. Okay, this field, okay, this field value is what it is, RAM 1585.6. this is the value of that particular field. Okay, so particular variable name. Okay, how they are assigning that variable name. Okay, how they are assigning that value for that particular variable name. It would be holding some values. Okay, each field have some holding some values. That is called as a ROM 1585.6. ROM means already we know that is called as a alphabetical letters only. Okay, name means we have to mention we have to give a values for alphabetical letters. Okay, next age is the integer value. Okay, so integer value we have to assign. Okay, whole number. Okay, 15 is the whole number, we have to assign that value for age. Next one is the second one, fractional part. Third one, fractional part, 85.6. Okay, that is a fractional number. So that is given to average mark, average of a total mark. Okay, this is the way to we have to giving the values, and giving the values for the variables. Okay, so as well as we have to give a data types. Okay, each variables have some particular data types. Name means name have some particular data types, as well as age also have some particular data types. Average mark also have some particular data types. What are that? Okay, that everything, that built-in data types, everything we have to see one by one. We have a different kind of data are there in this day-to-day life. Okay, so we have to use different kinds of data in our day-to-day life. Okay, so we have to find out that various data and giving the name of that particular fields, and giving the values for particular datas. Okay, so that everything for a data types, variables, and expressions oriented concept. Next one is the C++ data types. Okay, we have basically we have to classify in three data types. Okay, mainly we have to focus in C++ three data types only. What are that? Fundamental data types, user defined data types, derived data types. Okay, these three only we have to focus in C++ data types. What is that? Okay, we have to see one by one. Okay, data types diagram. Okay, so data types itself, 3 data types are there. Okay, already we discussed user defined data types, fundamental or built-in data types, or derived data types. Okay, 3 data types are there. Okay, user defined data types itself, we have structure, union, class, enumeration. Okay, this topic, everything we have to see separately in this book. Okay, in our volume 2 itself. Okay, we have to discuss later this everything. Okay, next data types, fundamental or built-in data types. What are that? Integral data types, void, floating point. Okay, these 3 for fundamental data types. So inside of that integral data types, integer and character, these 2 for integral data types. Void, okay, now void itself we don't have any sub data types. Okay, floating point itself we have a 2 data types. They are dividing 2 data types, float and double. Okay, float and double. Okay, these are for floating point data types. Okay, these 3 data types for fundamental or built-in data types in C++. Mostly we have to use these fundamental data types to we have to making a C++ program. How to use that particular built-in data types in a C++ program? How to we have to identify, how to we have to declare that data types in a variable itself? That's everything we have to see in this video itself. Okay, next one is the derived data types. Okay, derived data types itself we have array means what, function, pointer, reference. Okay, so we have 3 data types in a derived data types. Okay, so array and functions, these 2 we have to discuss in this our volume 2 itself. Okay, separately we have to see these 2 topics briefly. Okay, so we have to see one by one. What is the fundamental or built-in data types? How to we have to declare the, how to use these data types in a C++ program? That everything we have to see. Okay, C++ data types. Okay, here itself how to use that data types. Okay, how to use that fundamental data types. How do we understand working that data types? Okay, so how to use the data types in a variable? Okay, syntax for that declaring a variable. Data type. Okay, data type means what are that? Integer, character, float, double. Okay, these 4 for fundamental data types. Okay, to this slide itself we have to learn fundamental data types first. Okay, after that we have to see one by one. Okay, fundamental data types, what are that? See here, int, character, float, double. Okay, these 4 only for a fundamental data types. Okay, void is the different data types. Okay, I will explain later. Okay, I will see you. Okay, syntax for declaring a variable. Data type we have to mention. Data type means what it is, integer or character or float or double, any one we have to give from here. Then variable name. Variable name means what it is, a, b, c, name, age. Okay, total mark. Okay, average. Okay, these are all for a variable name. Okay, for example I am saying how to declaring a variable, like that only we have to declare data type and then variable name, like that only we have to declare our variables in C++ data types. Okay, next one example they given here, that int is the data type. So int means what it is, we have to enter only for integer value. Okay, num1, okay, semicolon. Okay, so num1 is the variable name. Okay, data type, variable name. Okay, this is the way to we have to declare a variable. Okay, so same data type we have to use. Okay, maybe single statement we have to use. Okay, otherwise we have to use a multiple statement also. Okay, multiple variables also we have to declare in this example itself. For example, int num1 num2 comma sum. Okay, here itself how many variables are there? 1 2 3. Okay, 3 variables are there. Data type is what it is, int only. Okay, only one data types, but we have to declare a multiple variable names. Okay, so next one, so introduction to fundamental data types. Okay, so fundamental or atomic data types are predefined data types available in There are 5 fundamental data types in C++: character, integer, float, double and void. Okay, so in C++ fundamentally they are explaining these 5 data types. What are that? Character, int, float, double and void. Actually these are the keywords for defining the data types. So how it is, okay, we have to use these data types in C++ program. Why they are saying that is called a predefined data types, that everything we have to see one by one. Okay, first one is the int data type. Okay, so this int data type is used to stored only for the integer value. Okay, integer numbers only accept to store in that particular variable name. Okay, not to accept any other value. Okay, any other character. Int mean it will be accept only the integer number, integer values only. Okay, whenever we have to declare a data type for int means, okay, that variable values will be integer numbers only. Okay, so that is the int data type use. Okay, so in this int data type itself we cannot possible to store a fractional values. Maybe you try to store for fractional values means it will be taking only for the integer value, whole number values only it will be taking. Okay, so that is the main part of that int data type. For example, here int is the data type name, num is the variable name, so we have to assign the value for variable 12. Okay, value is what it is, 12. Okay, this is a integer number, 12 is the whole number, integer value only. Okay, int data type means already I told only accept integer number only for this int data type. Okay, whenever we have to assign the value for that variable, so only accepting integer value for int data type. Okay, we cannot give any other fractional value or any other character value. Okay, so we have to declare only for integer value for that int data type. Next one is the character data type. Okay, character data type means it will be written a valid ASCII characters. Okay, so it will be written a valid ASCII characters. What are that, sir? A to Z, Z to A. Okay, so like that any that ASCII characters only it will be accepting in that particular character data type. Okay, here it's not possible to enter any other value. Maybe you have to give a ASCII characters, otherwise integer value. Okay, often it will be accept a integer type also. Okay, how it is that? Okay, that ASCII codes. Okay, we have to definitely we have to know that ASCII codes. Maybe you understand clearly that particular characters, each characters have some integer values. Okay, each characters have some integer value. For example, capital A. Okay, that capital A also have some integer value, that is called as ASCII characters. Okay, that character is called as ASCII characters. Whenever giving that characters to the data type char, so it will be within a single quotes. Okay, we have to assign that value for single quotes. See that example from here. Example 1, character is the what it is, data type. Okay, C. Okay, C is the variable name. We have to assign the value for capital A. Okay, that is a character data type. Character data type means we have to use single letter. Okay, single character within single quotes. Okay, that ASCII characters only accept in a character data type. Okay, whenever we have to assign the value for that character data type. Okay, character variable name, so within single quotes. See here that single quotes. Okay, so within single quotes only we have to declare that character data type. Okay, only ASCII characters only allowed. Okay, that values also it will be accepting only that ASCII characters. Okay, see out CH. Okay, here they are displaying the character data type values. Okay, A means what it is. Okay, that A have some value. Okay, that value will be displaying on your screen. Okay, so next one, see here, example 1 they given for CH alone, but here CH plus 1 they given from here. Okay, so our CH plus 1 means what it is, a print, then after plus 1 means so b displays, so it displays the next character b. Okay, it will be adding, incrementing 1. Okay, so here they given value for a. Okay, ch that display that value for ch a plus 1 means what it is, it would be incremented by a 1. Okay, new value stored on the same variable ch. Okay, new value what it is, increment plus 1 means a after what value will come, b. Okay, so in your screen, okay, in output screen, b is the result of that particular coding. Okay, ch plus 1 means what it is, okay, ch itself what value it is there, a only there. Okay, but a plus 1, okay, it will be incremented by 1. So increment means what it is, after a what character will come, b only will come. So that b is the output of that particular coding. Next one is the one of the example they given for that character data type, how they are get an ASCII value and display the corresponding character. Okay, that example they given from here. Okay, so into main function, okay, within a curly braces, inside of that block of code is there, int data type, n is the variable name, char ch is the variable name. Okay, here enter on ASCII code 0 to 255. Okay, input they are getting, okay, n. Okay, n variable input they are getting, so we have to give a input for n. So that n value will be stored to ch. Okay, that character data type. Okay, ch itself, that n value will be stored. Okay, equivalent character. Okay, n is what input I am giving here, 100 I am giving. Okay, 100 I am giving, so it will be displaying that n is input I given 100, that will be stored to ch. Okay, ch means what is the data type, ch character data type. So n value I given for 100 up. Now what the result will be displaying on your screen, so character only accept to display the character data type, correct? No, character only allow to display the result for character data type. Why it is means that n value will be stored on character ch. Okay, so equivalent, see out last line, equivalent character ch itself what value will be there, 100 only there. So 100 means, so 100 not a character. Okay, 100 is the integer value, not a character. So 100 have some character on a ASCII value. Okay, so that 100 ASCII value character is what it is, d. So system is automatically, it will be displaying that 100 ASCII value character will be displaying on your screen. Okay, so this is the way to we have to displaying a ASCII value for corresponding character. Okay, so this is the one of the best example for character data type. Next one is the float data type. Okay, if a variable is declared, okay, in a float, it will be stored in a floating point values. Okay, there are two advantages of using float data types. What are that? They can represent values between the integers. Okay, they can represent the value for between the integers, and then they can represent a much greater range of values. Okay, so maybe they have to store the small number of fraction values, otherwise maximum number of fraction value range of values also is possible to store in a floating point. Okay, we have to use some extra data types. Okay, how to use that extra data types, how to we have to store that floating point values, that everything we have to see in this concept itself. Okay, float data type. Okay, how we have to use that floating point operation. Okay, so that are for very important data type in a fundamental data types. Okay, see here that example. For example, float is accept to storing a fraction values. Fraction value means point values. Okay, 13.4, okay, like that, or 98.6, okay, like that. Okay, that is the fractional value. Okay, that is called as a fraction value. Float is the data type. Num is a variable name equal 13.4. Okay, now we are assigning this for this fraction value for variable name num. Okay, that data type num variable data type is what it is, float. Okay, so float means what it is, fraction value. Fraction value will be accept to stored in a and stored and displaying on a screen. Okay, so this is the example for our float data type. Next one is a double data type. Why we have to use this double data type? Okay, this is a double data type is a precision floating point numbers. Okay, that means significant of a number of a decimal point. Okay, so this double data type is we have to use in integer data types and float data types itself. Okay, integer data types itself we have to use a double means, okay, we have to use in floating point numbers. Okay, this double data type is using in a floating point data types. How it is? Okay, now we have to store a length of floating or fraction numbers. Okay, for example 98.612354 like that. Okay, so length of numbers will come. Okay, that point value will come. Length of numbers means we have to use double data types. Okay, in front of a float data types we have to use this double data type. Okay, maybe float only we have to giving, float data types only we have to giving means we have to store only for minimum fraction numbers. In front of a float data type we have to use double. Okay, double float, and then after variable we have to give a value for that variable. So longer variable. Okay, large number of values we have to give, large number of fraction values we have to give in this double data type. Okay, that is the use of double data type. Okay, so we have to see that example also. Okay, next one is the void data type. Okay, so they didn't give any example from here, so this double data type we have to see. Okay, later we have to see that double data types, how they are using that example we have to see later. Okay, and next one is the void data type. Okay, so void means what it is, empty space, nothing will be there in the particular void data types. This void data type is so nothing will be written. Okay, this void data type is empty space, that it is it's not have any other value for that void data type itself, nothing will be written. Okay, do not return any value. Okay, that is the use of void data type. Okay, void data type na empty space, that's all. Empty space means nothing will be there in that particular data type. So nothing is there means so do not return any other value. Okay, in return type do not return any value. Okay, whenever we have to writing our program return, okay, return data types we are using. Okay, that time void data type we are using means return value is nothing will be share. Okay, nothing will be displaying. Okay, that is called as empty space. Okay, whenever you use void data type, okay, nothing will be there, that is called as a empty space. Okay, do not return any other value. Okay, so here you have to see that memory of a data types. Okay, character means 1 byte. Okay, terms is 8 bits. Okay, integer means that data type integer means 2 bytes we have to, it will be getting in a memory space in memory in a computer. Okay, so character data type means it will be getting 1 byte. Integer data type means it will be getting a 2 bytes. Float means 4 bytes it will be getting. Okay, double data types it will be getting a 8 bytes. Okay, these are all very important. Okay, how many bytes these data types are getting from a computer memory. Okay, so this everything for very important, as well as term of bits also very important. Then range of values, this is also you have to say, and then how to arrange these values, how the values variable values are stored in our memory. Okay, how many bytes it will be getting in computer memory. Okay, these are all very important. Okay, character 1 byte, integer 2 byte, and then a float is the 4 byte, double is 8 bytes. Okay, so these bytes are very important, just you have to store your memory. Next one is the memory representation of a fundamental data types. Already I told memory representation, how that fundamental data types representing memory in our computer. Okay, how it will be allocating that memory to store a variable values. Okay, so that is the main part of our programming making. Okay, so first one by one we have to see. Okay, one of the most important reasons to we have to declaring a variable is we have to allocating the memory space in our computer, as well as we have to store a program concept in every data should be accumulated with the main memory. Okay, before the processed. Okay, before they are processing, that will be allocating the memory first. That variable is allocating the memory first. How they are allocating that memory? With the data type only. Okay, what data type we have to giving for that particular variable. So that way only that variable is allocating the memory from our memory, computer memory. Okay, so before processing. Okay, so before itself it will be allocating the memory. After that only we have to compile and it will be executing a program, and finally it will be store that particular memory location. Okay, so this is the way to we have to store our values in our so store our values and variables in a particular memory. Okay, so that memory space already we discussed. Integer character data type means it will be getting 1 bytes in our memory. So integer data type means it will be getting 2 bytes. So float means 4 bytes, double means 8 bytes. Next one is the data type modifiers. Okay, so what is the meaning of modifiers, sir? Okay, data type modifiers. Okay, so how to modify the data types? Okay, so why we have to modify that? Okay, so how to modify that? So for example, character mean 1 byte. How to modify that? So we have to use these 4 data types. So what are that? Signed, unsigned, long, short. Okay, these are all modifiers in data type. Okay, so before data types, before we have to use these data types. Okay, so fundamental data types, what are that? Int, character, float, double, like that is there. So int, before we have to use long data type means it will be storing long integer values. Okay, int data type only we are giving means we have to store only for small size of integer value only we have to store. Correct? So in before, okay, integer data type, before we have to use long int, like that we have to use means we have to use length of integer values in particular variable name. Okay, so extra integer values we have to store in that particular data type. Okay, that purpose we have to use these data types. What are that? Signed, unsigned, long, short. Okay, these are all for modifiers in fundamental data types. Okay, in bold letter they given clearly that modifiers. Okay, what is meant by modifiers? Modifiers can be used to modify, okay, expand or reduce. Expand the value of the variable, otherwise reduce the size of the variable. Okay, so that is the meaning of modifiers. Okay, the memory allocation of any fundamental data type, where we have to use these modifiers in fundamental data types only we have to use these modifiers. Why it is? We have to allocating the memory of the variable. Okay, that is called as a qualifiers. Okay, they are also called as a qualifiers. Okay, that the modifiers names they are calling as a qualifiers. What are the modifiers? 4 modifiers already I told you: signed, unsigned, long, short. Okay, these are all modifiers in fundamental data types. How we have to use these modifiers in fundamental data types, we have to see one by one. Okay, signed, unsigned, long, short, these are all for modifiers. Okay, short means short is a short name of short integer. Okay, it would be storing 2 bytes. Okay, unsigned short, integer number without minus sign. Okay, so without minus sign means what it is? Only accept a Okay, unsigned short means it will be accept a positive values. Signed short means what it is, it will be accepting a negative values, integer number with a minus sign. Okay, minus value it will be accept signed short. Okay, so these are all for data types. Okay, how these data types we have to use in this fundamental data types we have to see. Okay, so that bytes also you have to store in your mind. Okay, 2 bytes. Okay, short means 2 bytes, unsigned short means 2 bytes, signed short means 2 bytes. Okay, next one is the data type modifiers itself. We have three more data types. What are that? Long, unsigned long, signed long. Okay, long means we have to use, okay, long int means we have to store a multiple integers. Okay, 4 bytes, it will be getting a 4 bytes. We have to store more integer values. Okay, that purpose we have to use long data type, long modifiers in int data type. Okay, long int, like that we have to use means we have to store length of integer values in a particular data type. Okay, unsigned long means we have to store the double spaced integer without any sign. Okay, that means we have to store the positive numbers. Okay, positive integer values. Signed long, so that is used to a double spaced integer with sign, because that also have a 4 bytes only. Okay, this memory everything is very important. Next one is the character, unsigned character, signed character. Okay, character is a ASCII character only, it will be accepting. Unsigned means ASCII character without sign. Okay, ASCII character without sign, it will be getting 1 byte. So signed character, ASCII character with the sign, either without sign or with the sign. Okay, so these bytes are very important. Okay, like that, float, double, long double. Okay, so long double means it will be getting signed more precision fractional values. Okay, long double means fraction values, for example 1 lakh. Okay, 55 lakhs, 55 crores, 53 crores. Okay, in fraction values also it will be accepting, it will be giving for like that. Okay, long double. Okay, so like that we have to given fundamental data type itself. Okay, like that we have to declare in our programming itself also, just you have to check yourself. Okay, these are all for very important fundamental data types and modifiers in a C++ program. Okay, what purpose we have to learn these everything means how that memory space is allocating in our computer memory. Okay, 4 bytes, 8 bytes, 10 bytes. Okay, how it will be allocating. Okay, so long double means it will be allocating 10 bytes in our memory. Okay, computer memory. Double means it will be allocating memory for 8 bytes. Float means it will be allocating a value for 4 bytes. Okay, so this everything for an memory allocation of a computer system. Okay, before processing only it will be allocating before itself, and then after only after executing it will be storing that allocated space to store the values. Okay, data types modifiers. Okay, so turbo C++. Okay, we have a different softwares. Okay, in C++ program we have to compile in a different softwares. Okay, each software have different memory allocation. Okay, different memory bytes. Okay, what are the turbo C++ itself? Short means 2 bytes, 2 bytes. Okay, unsigned short means 2 bytes, 2 bytes. Okay, signed short means 2 bytes, 2 bytes. Int means turbo C++ itself, it will be getting 2 bytes, but Dave C++ 4 bytes it will be getting. Unsigned int, like that, 2 bytes, 4 bytes. Okay, this is turbo C++ is the separate software, Dave C++ the separate software. We have to use this software means Dave C++ means memory byte like this only. Okay, this data type, these are all for data types, that bytes of memory called 2, 4, 4, like that. Okay, so this everything you have to learn one by one and understand clearly. Next one is the data type modifiers itself. We have they have to given some example. Okay, so we have to see that the size of is one of the operator. Okay, so how they are using giving that size of size of operator in data type itself. We have to see that. Okay, it will be providing in their C++ itself 4 bytes. Okay, int and long. Any one of these types can be used to handle bigger integer values, and while writing programs in Dev C++, this program will be written in a Dev C++ software. Okay, short A, unsigned short B, signed short C. Okay, these are all allocating 2 bytes. Okay, so size of short A means it will be assign size of A 2 bytes, size of unsigned short, size of B 2 bytes. Okay, size of signed short, size of C 2 bytes. Okay, these are all for bytes. Okay, bytes of short, unsigned, signed. Okay, so short, unsigned and signed data types. Okay, number suffixes in C++. Okay, sometimes we have to use these data types in numbers directly. Okay, in suffixes order. Okay, different suffixes for integer and floating point numbers. How we have to use that suffixes in a value itself. Okay, how they are assigning that value for suffixes. Okay, different type. Okay, how they are assigning 45. Okay, 45 is the value. 45L they given for 45L. 45L means what it is? 45 long. Okay, that value is long in the data type they are using. And next one is the 45U. Okay, so U means unsigned data type they are using here. 45L means what it is? Long data type they are using. Okay, or 45U means what it is? Unsigned data type. Okay, so these are all for a suffix letter. Okay, L or U. Okay, F means what it is? 3.14F. This is the floating point data type. Okay, so floating point values. Okay, so like that they have to given means we have to find out that 3.14F means this is the floating point value. So 45U means this is the signed data type value. Okay, 45L means we have to find that this is the long data type value. Okay, like that we have to find in a suffixes. Okay, this is the way to we have to find the suffixes, and then we have to declare the suffixes. Okay, in different way in integers and floating point numbers. Variables. Okay, so variables are use and define names only. Okay, we have to assign the value of that particular variables. Okay, any name we have to give. Okay, that variables called as identifiers. Okay, that variables called as identifiers. It will be having some rules also. Okay, whenever we have to declaring a variables, we have to use some user defined names. Okay, so what are that? Okay, as well as we have to declare the variable we cannot use keywords. Okay, whenever declare the variable we cannot use keywords. Okay, what are that? Already we discussed in this chapter itself already. Okay, before itself we discussed. Okay, keywords means what are that keyword is not used in a variable itself. Okay, there are two values associated with a symbolic variable. They are R value and L value. Okay, we got to see that example. R value means what it is and L value means what it is. R value is a data stored in a memory location. Okay, R value it will be stored data in memory location. L value is the memory address. Okay, memory address. Okay, memory address means what, sir? So that R value where it will be going to store. Okay, that address called as a L value. Okay, R value will be going to store in a particular memory address, that is called as a L value. See here that example they given. Okay, number 1 and number 2 variable name is there. Okay, number 1 itself 65 value is assigned. Number 2 itself 100 value is assigned here. Okay, so 65 that is called as a R value. Okay, 100 and 65 that is called as a R value. It will be stored in a memory. Okay, so that memory address. Okay, that memory address called as a L value. Okay. What is the address of the memory? Okay, this value of value memory address is what it is. This is that memory address. Okay, number 2, variable name values is 100. Okay, that memory stored values 100. That address is what it is. This is the address of that particular value. Okay, particular variable. Okay, so that variable address is called as that memory address called as the L value. Okay, this is the way to we have to allocate the memory in a variable. Okay, declaration of a variable. Okay, whenever we have to declare a variable, we have to declare in program itself we have some memory and some allocate the memory to it will be storing the values. Okay, so we have a we have to declare a variable means must we have to use a fundamental data types. What are that? Int, character, float, double. Okay, and then void. Okay, these 5 data types we have to use to declare our variables. That syntax we have to see. Okay, see here, syntax, data type. Okay, how to declare a variable. Sometimes they have to ask in a 2 mark itself. Okay, so how to declare a variable? Data type, int, character, float or double. Okay, any one you have to use, any one data type you have to use. For example, int. Okay, so data type. Next on the variable name, space, variable name 1, variable name 2, variable name 3, variable n variable we have to declare. Okay, not only for one variable or two variables, we have to declare a multiple variables or n variables we have to declare in a one particular data type. Okay, otherwise we have to declare different data types also. Okay, integer data type variable 1, float data type variable 2, like that. Okay, how much you needed, like that you have to declare a variable. What data type you needed, like that you have to declare your data type also. Okay, so these are all for example for our declaration of a variable. Okay, example for int data type number 1, number 2, sum. These are all for variable name. Next one is the declaration of variables. They given clearly for that particular variable name and data types and their R value and L value. Okay, memory, stored memory location and memory address. Okay, number 1, number 2. Okay, num1, num2. Okay, that memory store that particular value from here. Okay, orange letter itself, num1 will be store a value. Okay, so next one num2 itself, it will be store a value for same value from in blue color itself. Okay, so it will be storing that orange color itself, what value will be stored, that is called a R value. So here memory address. Okay, it will be finding that memory address in hexadecimal numbers. Okay, these are all for hexadecimal numbers. Okay, so that is called as a L value. Okay, memory address, that is called as a memory L value. Okay, num1 and num2 will be add and stored from sum variable. Okay, sum means what it is, addition. So number 1 and plus number 2. Okay, so that two variables will be add and stored in a sum variable, that will be allocating another memory location and storing a result. See here, that example already before itself I told you that. So they are saying how they are storing that variable names. Here itself garbage means what it is, junk means, okay, garbage or junk. Okay, what is the meaning of that? Okay, sometimes if you are declare a variable without any initial value. Okay, any initial value, we didn't give any initial value means the memory space allocated to the variable will be occupied with some unknown value. Okay, we didn't give any value for this variable names. Okay, we didn't assign any value from here. Num1 equal to, okay, nothing, unknown values. Okay, nothing will be assigned here. Num2, okay, nothing will be assigned here. So that time, okay, memory space allocated to the variable will be occupied with some unknown value. It will be automatically allocate the unknown values. These unknown values are called as junk or garbage values. Okay, we didn't assign any value for number 1 variable, number 2 variable, correct? So that time, okay, that memory, okay, that memory space is allocate unknown values. Okay, some unknown values it will be allocate automatically. So that unknown values are called as junk or garbage values. Okay, initialization of variables. Okay, how to initialization the variable? Assigning initial value to a variable during its declaration is called as initialization. Okay, so we have to declare, okay, int num. Okay, data type we are using, num is the variable name. Here itself we have to assign the value of the variable name. Okay, value, what is the value of that particular variable name num? So that value is 100. Okay, how we are assigning? We are using equal symbol to, we have to assign this value for num variable. That data type is what it is, int. Int means, int data type means it will be accepting only for integer value. Okay, next one, float. Float is the data type. Okay, it will be accepting a fractional numbers. Okay, so float data type by means that is a variable name. It will be assigned a value for what it is, 3.14. okay, 3.14 initialization of a by variable name. Okay, so this is the way to we have to initialize the whenever declaring a variable. Double price equal to 231.45. okay, this is the value of this price variable name. Okay, so this is one example for initialization of a variables. Initialization, now what it is, sir? This is, okay, assigning the value of the variable, that is called the initialization. Okay, that is called as the initialization. Dynamic initialization. Okay, dynamic initialization means we didn't initialize anything from here, but just we have to use that variable name to, we have to adding the variable name. Okay, so see here, int num1 num2 sum. Okay, data type integer data type. Okay, we have to store values for integer value. Okay, how many variables are there? num1 num2 sum. Okay, 3 variables are there. Sum itself we have to store. Okay, how we, what value will be stored? We have to adding number 1 and number 2 values and storing in some variable. But that data type is what it is, int only. Okay, already we tell int data type only. Okay, this is one of the method. Okay, another method, int sum equal to num1 plus num2. Dynamically they are initialize the value like this. Okay, this is called as a dynamic initialization. This part called as a dynamic initialization. Okay, whenever we have to declaring the variable, like this is also one of the method to we have to initialization. This method of initialization called as a dynamic initialization. Okay, the one example they given, dynamic initialization example they given here. Int num1 num2, these are all for variable name. 2 variable name is there. That data type is what it is, int. So only we have to store integer value only. So say out itself, enter number 1, enter number 1. So here num1 input we have to get. Okay, so we have to give for input 78 I given. Next enter number 2, enter number 2. Okay, so next input I am getting what it is, 65. Okay, now average. Okay, I want to know the average now. So that is dynamic initialization from here. Okay, int sum equal to num1 plus num2. So we need a average. Okay, we need average means first we have to know a total of num1 and num2 variable. Okay, this both will first we have to add. Okay, that total value to we have to find the average. So we have to add that value num1 and num2, that value will be adding and storing in where it is some variable. Okay, it will be adding and okay, so num1 and num2 will be add and stored in some variable. This part of initialization called as the dynamic initialization. Okay, before itself they didn't declare like that. Okay, they are inside of a coding block they are using. Okay, see here in before, okay, this dynamic initialization, before we have a 4 coding lines. Okay, 4 coding standard is already written. Okay, after that inside of a coding we have to use that initialization part, that is called as a dynamic initialization. Okay, inside of the coding also we have to declare, we have to initialize the variable. Okay, this is also very important one, as well as this is also this method also we have to use in C++ program. This is called as a dynamic initialization. This part called as a dynamic initialization. This total value will be stored in sum. Okay, after that average sum. Okay, sum divided by 2. Okay, so what is the value of sum? That total value will be stored in a sum variable. So divided by 2. Okay, it will be divide and store a average from here. Okay, this everything doing automatically in a computer. We need not to know how it is doing that. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, you have to write the coding properly. It will be calculating and giving the proper result for a system itself, displaying the proper result. Thank you students, have a nice day.